Good morning, good yor, a good kvittel. Welcome back to 10 minutes of meeting. Please help yourself to coffee and some Pas Yisrael. Danish is in the back. Tzalik Balair, special welcome to my brother-in-law, Reb Gersh. It's good to have you in our community. A big thank you to our generous sponsor, Anonymous Lezer Nishmas, Alter Shlomo Ben Pinchas. We are in the home stretch of Mesillas Yesharim, Perach Chav Daled, chapter 24. The Ramchal has been talking to us about Yira Sachet, the notion of Yira. Yira is not as we classically understand it, fear. The Ramchal says that's a very low level. That's the low threshold. We're striving, our ambition is for something higher, something greater, and that is Yiras HaRomamus. He described two levels. Yiras HaOnesh, when we live and recoil from fear, fear of punishment, fear of consequence, fear of getting struck by lightning if we don't do the right thing. That's a very low level. As we've said several times, we don't want our children to be obedient. We don't want our children to follow our footsteps only because they're afraid. We want them to do it because they admire, because they're in awe, because they embrace our values and our vision. And that's what the Ramchal continues with. Hamin Hashenu Yiras HaRomamus. Shodam Yirchak min hachatoim v'lo yasim mitnei kvodo hagadol yisbarach shemo. Second level is Yiras HaRomamus. One is filled with awe. You look around and you contemplate the galaxies, the universe, this world. You think about the intricacies and the details of the human body, biology, chemistry, physics. You look into Torah Kadosha, Torah's Chaim, and you see that it's saying Sof. You look at Hashem's world, you look at Hashem's work, you look at Hashem's diary, and you're filled with the Yiras HaRomamus. Wow! Goosebumps, awe. Kosh Baruch Hu is unbelievable. And then you recoil. You don't want to violate Hashem's word. You don't want to disappoint Him. You don't want to do a chait. You're going to follow your heart. You lowly flesh and blood, you're going to follow some hedonistic desire and abandon the will of the Almighty. So when you look at this world, when you understand it, when you contemplate it, when you're mindful of it, you're filled with the Yiras HaRomamus, the magnificence, the awesomeness of Hashem's world. So you do the right thing, not because you're afraid if you don't, lightning will strike, you'll be punished, things will be bad. It's not out of fear. It's out of awe, it's out of admiration, it's out of a sense of love. The Mashkiach Rav Dan Segel quotes the Medrash in his commentary, Mesillas Yesharim, he quotes the Medrash Bereishis Rabbah. Lasad lava yochiach Kadosh Baruch Hu es kol echad ve'echad lefi ma shehu. Hashem will hold us accountable in the future, in our awe, in our goosebump moments, klape Him, according to our level. V'zeh b'tarti mashma lefi ma shehu, lefi gdulaso yizbarach. Lefi ma shehu means, the Medrash, according to God's greatness, He'll hold us accountable. Did we adequately feel awe? Lefi Mashahu also means according to our level, what we can understand, what we could comprehend. And the story is told famously that Rav Shamshon Fal Hirsch once went to see the Swiss Alps. And when his Talmidim, when his Balabatim said, Rebbe, how could you leave the Beis Medrash, Bittul Torah, you're going to abandon the study of Torah to go explore the Swiss Alps? He said, I don't want to get upstairs. And Hashem will say to me, Shamshon, no, what'd you think of my Alps? And I won't have an answer. Lefi Mashu, a person, the level they're on is to see and explore the world and recoil with a sense of awe. Rav Moshe Twersky, Hashem Yikom Damo, when one of his Talmidim, for Ben Azmanim, was going to Switzerland with his family to see the Swiss Alps, and repeated, when Rav Moshe asked him where he was going, told him to see the Alps. After all, Rav Hirsch said that Hashem was going to ask him, what'd you think of my Alps? So Rav Moshe said, Kosh Baruch was also going to ask, maybe first ask, what'd you think of my Zvachim? What'd you think of my Menachos? What'd you think of the Masechtas that people aren't necessarily as committed to? He wants us to explore the Alps and see His wonder and feel awe. He also wants us to explore His Torah and see the wonder and feel a sense of awe. That's what appears in the biography of Rav Moshe Twersky. But a Talmud of his told me that when he went once to meet with the Rebbitzin after Rav Moshe was murdered in cold blood in an act of terror in Har Nof, she shared with him that once she wanted to go to see Switzerland. She got him to go. That was his gift for Yontif to her, that they would go to Switzerland. That was the gift for Yontif. So he went, and he was emotional and moved by what he saw. Marabu Masach Hashem, and now he understood. In addition to sing Menachos and Zvachim, to have the awe of Hashem, to see the Alps as well. That didn't appear in the biography, but he too was moved incredibly by seeing Hashem's world. A person should be filled with the Yiras HaRomamus. Rav Hutner writes that a Jew could live in one of two ways. You could walk through this world, and you could have what he calls the Koach HaHillel or Koach HaChilul. A Yid could walk through this world and say, wow, It's unbelievable. Look at the sky, look at the trees, look at the animals, look at this world. Koach HaHillel, praise Hashem, be overwhelmed and filled with awe for everything you see. Or, Chalila, a person could be filled with the attitude of Amalek, which is Koach HaChilel. Koach HaChilel is, I would say today, young people in particular use the expression, What'd you think of Yom Kippur? What'd you think of the Shabbat Shuvah Drush? What'd you think of the concert? What'd you think of the restaurant? What'd you think? Nothing impresses anyone ever anymore. No one's filled with awe about anything. There's nothing. Some people are excited about that. Like that's their geschmack. They think their currency is If they're not impressed with anything, they must be great. They're a Baal Gaiva. If you're such a Baal Gaiva, you're so arrogant, nothing can impress you. You interact with brilliance. You interact with wonder. You interact with our art. You interact with Hashem's world. And all you could say is, you're bebechinas Amalek, koach achilol, machalal everything. You mundane and profane everything. Nothing impresses you. There are things that are taka unbelievably impressive. Hashem's world is incredibly impressive. You should walk through the world. Everything is a wonder. Be filled with awe. Get goosebumps when you see something outrageous, something incredible, something extraordinary. Koach HaHillel, says Rav Hutner, the job of a Yid is to live Koach HaHillel. We walk around seeing and praising Hashem in everything that we see. This next level of Yiras HaRomim is not just to be filled with fear, consequence, but to be filled with awe. Wow, Hashem, that's awesome. It's hard. Says Ramchal, the only way that we can get there and attain it is if a person thinks about it. If you're contemplative, you're focused. If you're walking through the street like this, then you won't notice anything around you. It's a beautiful tree. It's a beautiful landscape. It's a beautiful sunset. There's a beautiful person. It's a beautiful act of chesed. There's a super genius. There's a great tzaddik. But if you're looking like this all the time, you won't notice anything around you. You have to stop. You have to think. You have to experience. You have to breathe. You have to just be. And then when you experience that world, if you take the AirPods out and you listen to the rustles of the trees and to the birds chirping, and I don't even know what sounds iguanas and lizards make, and you just feel, wow, Hashem's world. It's awesome. It's awesome. But you can't experience it, says the Ramchal, unless you're going to stop and listen and look and take it in and be and contemplate, wow, he's awesome and I'm nothing. I'm future worm food. I'm nothing. Not so arrogant that, did you see that sunset? Did you see that magnet? You can't live, Kol eila dvarim, he told us, Asicha, maybe Maska, Yira, Samnu, Alachelik, Sheri, Meyachem, Mechalki, Achasidus, Ba, Yevo, Shadam, Yechra, Ba'amdal, Fnei Kol, Espal, Lavar, Kol, Avoda, Yira, Meshubachas, Shemeshtabchu, Ba, Chasidei, Olam. The righteous people, this is how they live. Every interaction, every engagement with Torah, every engagement with Hashem's wisdom, every engagement with Hashem's world, it's wow. It's Koach HaHillel. It's a wow. It's an awe-filled moment. Particularly before you daven or before any avoda. Hayira meshubacha shebishtabchu b'chasidei olam. Im Hashem Moshe medaber v'omer liyiras Hashem hanechba v'anora zeh eis Hashem lokecha. Pasuk in Dvarim, as to fear this glorified and awesome name, the eternal Hashem. This is our mission. This is our mandate. Arguably, this is what we do on Sukkot. You leave your diras keva. You say, you know what? I'm going to leave my sterile home that I'm not impressed by anymore, that I think is protecting me and is insulating me from experiencing the world and the elements. And I'm going to go out into nature. Schach has to be gedulei karka. It has to be something that grows from the ground. The lulav and the esrog, the four species. I'm going to go engage the world a little bit. I'm going to shake it. I'm going to sit underneath it. I'm going to go outside. I'm going to breathe it. I'm going to experience it. I'm going to listen to it. Can't wear AirPods on Yontif. I'm going to go out. I'm going to experience Hashem's world. Part of Sukkot is to help condition us and drive us to a little koach hahilul, in Rav Hutner's words, to experience b'mahalal Hashem. Wow, Hashem's world is absolutely awesome. So the low level of Yira is Yira Sa'onash. Don't do things because of fear. If I don't do this, He won't reward me. I won't be healthy. I won't have nachas. I won't have shalom bayis. I won't have parnasa. That's a very low level. It's a low level. It's better than no level. If it gets us to do the right thing, it's a good level, but it's a low level. It's a first step. The higher level, the higher step, what we aspire and strive to do, the next level is a Yiras HaRomamus, to be able to feel the goosebumps, the awesome moments, a Koach HaHillel, to not say everything is but to say everything is amazing. We'll continue after Yontif, 8:45, living with Amunah. Have a wonderful day. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay holy.